What's going on, friends and neighbors? How you guys doing today? Hey, we're going to be doing a chicken pastry today. But now some folks down here in the South in Alabama, they call it chicken and dumplings. My mom always called it a chicken pastry. So basically, it's going to be a gluten-free one. And I haven't done one gluten-free. I don't think I've ever done a gluten-free one, but I've seen some videos online and I kind of said, well, I'm going to try my best to do one. And most of the gluten-free stuff that I have tried has come out really, really good. So I think this will come out good as well too. So you guys watch it and tell me how you like it. All right, guys, this is a very simple recipe. Now I got some chicken thighs here, but you can actually take a whole chicken and boil it down till it's fall off the bone. We're gonna have some onions here as well too. Of course, we're gonna have some garlic powder, some oregano. Oregano is not normally in chicken pastries, but we're gonna put it in this one just to give it flavor. I like for stuff to have a whole lot of flavor. You got your salt, of course, and you got some white pepper. And this is our baking flour that we can use. It's gluten-free. You can use it 1-to-1 like you would regular flour, so you don't have to use less of it or more of it to make it into regular flour. And it actually comes out pretty good, guys. So yeah, it's frozen. It's frozen, but we're going to boil this, so that'll fix that problem. All right, so we got a chicken in there. We're just going to pour enough water over the chicken just until it covers it. So we're going to need a little bit more. That was almost enough. All right, there we go. Just until it covers it. Then we're going to add our onions in there, guys, just to give it a little bit of flavor. And you don't have to do this part, but if you don't like flavorful, a lot of folks don't like flavorful food. I like flavorful food. And put some salt in there as well, too. We're going to put about a teaspoonful or so. I just eyeballed that. And we're going to do about the same with the white pepper. That was probably right at a heck. Maybe we'll use it all. That's probably about a teaspoon. The garlic powder, you can be liberal with the garlic powder. Not too liberal, but my wife and I, we both like it. So that was probably about 1.5 teaspoons. And then you can add the oregano to it, guys. And this is all going to give it flavor, and you're still going to have to taste it once you bring it to a boil, because we're gonna bring this to a boil, get it so that it's fall off the bone, let it cool down, take the meat off the bones, and then we're gonna make our pasta or our dumplings or our pastry. We'll come back once it's boiling. All right, guys, let me tell you what I did. I came home for lunch when I first did these. We're going to see if these things are tender, and I think they are already tender. And we're going to take them out and let them cool down. We're going to be working on our pasta here. We just want to make sure all these are nice and tender, so it's fall off the bone, and it is. Okay, but again, I cut it off. I turned it off when I left to go back to work. And then I came back home, and I guess this pot right here, this is a stock pot from International Homes, and it really holds heat in real well. So it probably cooked while I was gone. All right, so we're going to let our chicken cool down for a little bit here, and then we'll take the bones out, and they say to take the fat off as well too. But the way we're going to do it, I kind of want some of the fat in there just to kind of give it some flavor. All right, we're going to do this right. We're going to put this flour, 2 cups flour, into our sifter here. This one doesn't usually have a whole lot of lumps and things in there, guys, but you never know, because it's gluten-free. So we're just going to kind of sift it here and just kind of get it all nice and smooth. And then we will come back once it's all sifted out, which is almost done now, so I guess I can stay a little while. See, you don't see a whole lot of lumps in there. That did good. That did really good. Now, when we're adding we're going to put chicken broth in here. So we're going to use the broth that we just cooked a second ago, and we're going to put it in here, but we're not going to mix it where it's all wet. We're just going to mix it till it just kind of comes together like a ball, and then we're going to roll it out. Hopefully, most of the time this stuff is kind of sticky and hard to work with. I'm going to see if I can keep this from being that way. All right, guys. Now, what I did so that I wouldn't have any onions and anything in there, I used this strainer right here to get our broth right here. Again, we're going to mix this just so that it comes together and it doesn't. We're not trying to make it to be a sticky mess here. So what we're going to do is just add a little bit at a time here, and just kind of give it a little bit of a mix. Because again, we don't want it to be. We don't want it to be real dry, but we don't want it all mixed in here. Add a little bit more. Now you can do this with your hands too, guys, you know. I'm just trying not to be messy. So I'm gonna mix this and I'll come back once it's mixed. All right, guys, I'm gonna tell you, it really does work better if you use your hands. So, you know, every video I've seen, it was coming together using my hands. It's hot as heck because it's got that hot broth in there, but this is coming together like I want it here. So we'll come back here, and it feels, you know, it doesn't feel all sticky either because I didn't put all that water in there to make it sticky. So that's coming together really, really good. All right, y'all, that came out really, really good. It really did. Now we're gonna flour down this board right here. We'll see how that's gonna work. All right, we put our flour down there. We're gonna put our rolling pin and put a little bit of flour on it as well. And here we go, guys. We're gonna see. Now, if you want these kind of thick, to make them thick, we're gonna have ours about 1/4 of an inch or so. That's working good. Oops, shoot, doggone it. Y'all know I do that quite a bit when I make these videos, right? That's what you get for not having a camera person. All right, we're gonna come back once we get these rolled out. This is doing really, really well, y'all. Again, 1/4 of an inch thick here. We don't want them too flat, so, and then we'll cut them. All righty, that worked out well, guys. Now we're just gonna cut these about, you can cut them in strips, you know, about 1 inch wide or so, like this. Try to be as even as you can. And then we're gonna put these individual strips on a piece of parchment paper and let them sit out for a little while and kind of cool down and dry. So we'll come back in just a second, guys. All righty, there you go. Now we're just going to put it on some parchment paper and let it rest for a little while, and then we'll debone our chicken and we'll get this stuff done. All righty, we're going to let those sit out for a little while and just kind of dry on the parchment paper so that they're easy to handle. And again, we're going to debone our chicken. All righty, this is the fun part. Now you want to lower this boil to a slow boil. That's a slow boil. And we want to start adding these things in one at a time. Just kind of drop them in. Try not to drop them on top of each other. And when they start floating, which it won't take long for them to start floating, you don't want to stir them real hard or anything like that because we don't want them to stick together. Just kind of put them in there a little bit at a time. And we'll come back once we get them all in there. You're going to put all of them in there, guys. Alrighty, and as you can see, they're starting to float here, guys. So we want them to float, and that's when you don't really want to mess with them until they start floating like this. And I think these are a little bit more dense, so I moved the pan around a little bit just so that I could get them to float. I think with regular flour, they float faster. Now again, because these are gluten-free, they're probably not going to puff up like the regular flour ones would. You know, the regular flour ones would puff up a little bit differently. Okay, now at this point, we're going to add our chicken back in here. Again, we don't want to heavily stir any of this, guys. And then we're going to let this simmer, or we're going to let it boil for about 15 minutes or so. We're going to have to give it a little bit of a stir just to kind of mix the chicken in. But not anything heavily. Just enough to kind of get things moving around. And don't just stir wildly. All right, now at this point too, you also want to give it a little bit of a taste again. All right, guys, I wanted to give mine a little bit more of a twang, so I'm going to add a little bit of mustard powder to this, just to give it a little bit of a twang. And this is about, we love mustard. This is about a teaspoonful here. Give it a little bit of a stir. Again, we don't want this sticking either. So we want to, again, we don't want to break them apart. See, they're still intact, so we don't want to break them apart. All right, let's give it about 15 minutes. All right, y'all, the moment of truth here. Ooh, look at that. That looks good. That looks good. Give it a little bit of a stir. Make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom and nothing is stuck. We're going to try this and see what it tastes like, but it looks good so far. And it doesn't look like your classic chicken and dumplings. They look a little bit more, they're not puffed up like your traditional. I can't wait to see what it tastes like. All right, guys, this stuff is hot as heck. I want to taste the pasta first, though. Blow it off. My mouth is watering. Wow. It came out pretty darn good. The pasta's a little bit different than your classic pasta, but you can tell it's pasta, and it tastes like regular pasta. Okay. That works, guys. Hold on a second. That works, guys. I'm gonna have to try this again. I mean, it's not like your regular chicken pastry, but it is next thing to it, and it was darn good. I gotta let my wife try it now. She's gonna love it. You guys have a good day. Peace.